May 8th, 2020. After 11 months of development, Hydroneer was released on Steam. May 8th, 2021. To celebrate Hydroneer being on Steam for a year, we released a mini nuke update. May 8th, 2022. Hydroneer 2.0 will go live. A complete overhaul of the game's codebase. New items, new gameplay mechanics, balances, a new vehicle system, and online split-screen multiplayer. And I am finally getting to the end of my list for new items to come to 2.0. But before we get into those, let's talk about some cool changes that are coming. The first thing you'll notice with 2.0 is a completely overhauled UI system. Now, Hydroneer is a game with minimal user interface, but that doesn't mean that we had quite a lot of work to do with remaking the entire UI of the game. We wanted buttons and panels to look a bit flasher and throw out some of those old assets that we didn't quite like. For example, the settings menu is new and improved, has different options in it now, and a better key rebind system. The old settings menu was pretty terrible. The build system in Hydroneer can also be quite confusing to new people. When they try and place things in the world for the first time, it can be a little bit confusing. So to help out players with this confusion, we've added a grid system that kind of shows the player nearby grid spaces when they're placing items down. You can see it's a lot easier to understand that you're placing on a grid and not just placing freely in the world. Something else we've been working on is changing the way that carts work. Now, before, the way that you carry carts is straight out behind you, which can be sometimes problematic when you're trying to drop them. They might be clipped through an item and then won't allow you to drop the cart. In this new system, the carts follow the angle of the terrain as you move around, making them a lot easier to drop and move around in general. So let's talk about some new stuff coming to Hydroneer. I've been playing a lot of Hydroneer as we come closer to finishing this update. I've been doing a lot of playtesting myself, and I've figured out there's a few new items that we need to bring to the game before the update comes live. The first one is a rake. The rake is a handheld tool you can use to flatten terrain around you. This either raises or lowers terrain to make it a nicer foundation to either build or work with. In the future, we're going to develop this code further and have vehicles that will flatten ground for you. One of the slowest parts of the early game is when you've just scrubbed quite a lot of resources into your pan, and now you've got loads of resources into a big pile or inside a pan, and you're not really sure what to do with them. So now there's a new item called the hand sorter. Now this works kind of similar to how the new conveyor splitter works. I explained it in a previous video. Essentially, you take a resource that you want to split and you put it on the small pad that's on top of the hand sorter, and then pouring all your resources through the machine, it then splits them out. So if you wanted to easily split out all of the gold ore in one of your pans, you place a couple of pans down, you pour all your resources into the top, and it splits them out. This is a really nice quality of life item to be adding into the game, and I think it's going to really make the difference in that early game grind. Lastly, for a bit of fun, I added a throwable TNT. Is it useful? Probably not. Is it fun? Definitely. As you know, we had to drop our plans for true multiplayer and use online multiplayer split screen instead due to some weird physics issues we're having with our physics engines that we've tried out. But I've actually been blown away by how good this actually is. Yeah, split screen isn't ideal, but there's something special about it. I'm not sure if it's the nostalgic magic of sharing screen space with a good friend, or if it's the ease of just saying, hey, look at this over there, and all you have to do is just glance aside to the other side of the screen. There's just something special about it. Steam Remote Play has held up really well, whether I'm hosting or if I'm joining a friend's game, and my internet connection is pretty ropey at times. And as for splitting the screen in half, you sort of don't really notice it after a while. The game kind of immerses you in and you forget that you've only got half a screen to use. Will true multiplayer come in the future? Who knows? I'm going to keep my eye out on technology that's kind of evolving with physics engines, but I can't really say for sure. If you've played other games and you're kind of having doubts with how good Steam Remote Play is, I'd say maybe hold off on those doubts and try out Hydroneer 2.0. It really is something that we're quite proud of. For the last 2 weeks, we've been in a closed beta stage with Hydroneer 2.0, and it has been really good. There's been quite a lot of bugs we've been fixing, but overall, it seems the game is quite stable and heading quite well towards our 2.0 release. Now we still have a few more features that we want to put in before the actual release, and a few more things we need to test, and a few more bugs we need to fix, so Hydroneer 2.0 isn't quite ready yet. We've been giving people access to Hydroneer 2.0 on our Discord server. As I mentioned in the 2.0 announcement video, which was a very long time ago now, we are giving access to the private beta to helpful and active members of the Discord community. The way this works is if somebody says something helpful or maybe shows off something cool in the Discord server, you give them a little poke emoji reaction to their message, and that gives them a point. There's a leaderboard on the Discord where people can access and look at, and when it's time for us to give out some keys, we just take the top of that leaderboard and hand out keys through that. Why Discord? Well, kind of for the purpose of the beta, really. It's a really nice way to have all of the information and feedback from players about how the 2.0 beta is doing, all in one place. Especially having voice channels there really does help out as well. I know not everyone is on Discord, so we are going to be giving away some keys as well on Twitter. So make sure you follow both of these Twitters, and you can maybe win yourself a key over there. The next devlog will be on May 8th. I also have something, a little secret to show off to you guys in that video, so make sure you subscribe for that one. If you've been enjoying Hydroneer, please leave us a Steam review. It really, really does help out our small development team. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all next month.